Remember this? This is 2009, and a feisty man decided he wanted to prove to everybody that he could finish the MS 150 in Dallas. Now, you guys moved on to Washington, but you left your mark here in Castle Hills. You guys allowed God to move through this neighborhood and move through you, and you made a huge change in our neighborhood. Well, today, we still have the men's Bible study that meets every Friday morning. We still have the women's Bible study that meets Wednesday nights, Monday nights, and Thursday mornings. And we have kids who have grown up through Live Out Loud that you guys started in this neighborhood that have become leaders in high schools and are now moving off to college and are wonderful leaders in Christ. We just thank you so much for you guys setting the example. And Akhil, we thank you. We thank you for being a friend of ours. We love you guys. We love the fact that you continue to fight, Akhil. We love you. We love the mark that you're making for everybody to see, that you are a lover of Christ throughout it all. You're making a difference, Akhil. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Akhil. May 50 be a great, great day. We love you guys back here in Castle Hills.
Hi, Akhil. Steve Walks. The impact you made on me during our first neighborhood church gathering was impactful. You used laughter to reduce stress and your trust in God through really tough circumstances, and still remembering how you jumped up on the stage when you shared with the group. That was amazing. God bless you.
Hey, Akhil, happy 50th birthday. That's an amazing time in life. It's sometimes hard to believe it comes up so quickly, but I've been there, done that a number of years ago, so I know you're going to do fine with it too. Hey, praying for you. Hope you're doing well, and just praying for you and your family. We haven't seen you in years. It was a great joy to have you in that men's Bible study and to be with you those years that we had together there in Castle Hills. And you're just a special guy. God has got his hand on you, man. I just want you to know that. I know that's true where you're at in Oregon. And he's using you. He's ministering to you and through you. And we miss you here, but I know you're being used as a blessing where you're at. So happy birthday, brother.
And you showed about the healing that you'd experienced in India. That was really cool. I'll never forget you explaining how incredibly hard it was for you to accept the story of the talking donkey from the Old Testament as someone who struggled so mightily with the Ark story. I can remember vividly being surprised someone was willing to discuss that they had some doubts and fears and trouble accepting components of the Bible. And it was really, really encouraging to me to learn that someone else had the same. I'll never forget our talks about fears about raising cheerleader daughters. It looks like we both got through that, but at the time it seemed like a really big deal. And nothing that either of us was terribly excited about. So all that said, let me tell you what I'm doing now, since it's been a long time since we've been in communication to any real depth. Starting the online solar company turned out to be a very good thing, because that happened almost immediately right at the same time you were leaving back in the end of 2010. That little company that I started was almost immediately acquired by a larger solar company. I worked as a consultant for that company for the past 5 years. I still am, actually. I've been working as a consultant. I wanted to be available to move to that job full time, so that I started doing independent consulting to keep myself flexible, which led me to, I was doing consulting on project management, change management, execution, strategy. That led me to be recruited to build a PMO for a company called Reach Local, a large internet marketing company. When they got into financial trouble last year, I left to become the COO of a smaller but much faster growing and much more financially stable internet marketing company called Scorpion, where I am now. So that's just a little quick update, since we haven't chatted about things like this. As I look back over the last 5 years since you left, it's funny how fast all that went. It's also funny how much has happened. It seems quick, but it also seems like there's been a lot of water under the bridge. I read your blog regularly. Of course, I was saddened by your diagnosis. I update the other guys in the small group, even those that don't know you and never met you but have heard about you. And like I said in the beginning, I think it's important to note that the presence that you started in Castle Hills lives strong. You're a brother in Christ. You worked with us. You were there with us at the time. Just because you left doesn't mean that you actually ever left. You were in my life at a really important time for me, when I needed what you were there to offer most. God obviously knew that and had the appropriate plan for the both of us. And I want to make sure you understand how important you were. You were and you are as a result of that, because it's an ongoing presence that that your advice and your personality and what you offered have never left. So happy birthday, Akhil. My life is infinitely better for having you play the part that you did in it.